Hey guys, so today we are going to learn API automation using REST assured. So we are going to use REST assured dependency. We will use this one. So create a Maven project, come to form.xml, use dependencies tag, and now we will add the dependency. We'll get it from MVN repository. Search for REST assured. Get the latest one. And add the dependency here. Now create a sample class API test1. So to work on REST assured, so basically REST assured is based on three principles: given, when, and then. So REST assured is based on these three principles. So in given, we provide all the input details of API. Fine. In when, we actually submit the API. Like here, we need to provide the details whether the API method is get, post, put, delete, patch, etc. Right? So those details we will give under when. In then, we will validate the response. So this is how we do the API automation. We hit the URL, we then provide the API details like headers, parameters. Those details we need to give under given. Suppose if we have post method, so in post method we need to give the input to the server, right? The body we need to provide, so that we will give under given. In when, we need to provide the detail like whether it is get method, post method, put method, or delete method. So basically we are doing submitting the API in when. In then, we are validating the response. So all the validation done under then. So these three are the principle of REST assured. Now we will use one open API to learn the API automation. So this is the sample API. Here I will go ahead with get method first. So copy this URL, and now first thing, REST assured. So this is coming from REST assured. Then base URI. So first we need to provide base URI. Like so basically it is the address where the APIs are hosted, right? So start the chaining. So these three principles, given, when, then, and this whole process is called as chaining the APIs. Fine. So given, get it from, so basically import it, given. Now so here we don't have any other details, right, in given. So just give when, And then after when we need to provide whether it is get method or put method or post method. So now I am using get. So in get, under get, we can provide the resources. So what are the resources? So here just use base URL instead of this entire URL. Just use this base URL, right? So this is the base URL. And in get, we can provide the other details, some input, right? Let's say headers, authorization, authentication, path parameter, query parameter. So those detail we can provide under given. So for any API, so suppose let me give an example of google.com, right? So this is the base URL of google.com. If I do slash maps, then it will navigate me to Google Map, right? So these are the additional detail, like after slash maps. So this is resources, right? So this is additional detail in the base URL. Suppose images. Now I am navigating to images, Google Images. So resources are basically additional detail. So in our case, this API slash users, this is resources. Okay. So in when and then get, basically we can we can pass resources under get method. So paste the resources. And apart from resources, we have this parameter, right, in URL. So we can basically pass under given. So in given we can, so here you're told, right, in given we can pass headers, authentication, path parameter, query parameter. Okay, so query parameter, so after question mark, so whatever it is coming, so that is query parameter. So query parameter is basically used to filter out the APIs. Okay, so just use query param, and query param will be in terms of key and value pair. So that was page. So it will be in key value pair format. So key is page. So give key and then value. Value is 2. Okay. So we have base URI, then given, query param, and when, and then. Now, then then we have a lot of validation methods. So first assertion or first validation we'll do for asserting the status code. So we are asserting here as status code should be 200. Okay, so if status code comes as 200, then my test will pass. So let me just run it. And see if it is able to, um, it it enables to run the rest assured basic API get method. Okay, so it has executed, though we have not, validated anything, or we have not done, um, we are not printing anything. So here what we can do, uh, just get the response, string response, and here just use extract body as a string. Let me just enter here. Yeah. So we are extracting the response and assigning in a string. Sysout response. Now run the test. So now what we are doing, we are extracting the response as a string, and then we are printing that. So this method is also available. Extract body as a string. So we can actually extract the body as a string. So this is the response of this API get method. Now to validate the response. So in response, you can see there are a lot of attributes, right? So to validate the response, to validate the attributes in response, in JSON response, we use JSON path. So use JSON path, JS, new JSON path, and pass the response, the string response which we have grabbed with this method. So JSON path will help us to validate each attribute in the JSON response. Now, if I do, let's say I'm, from this response, I need to validate this total. So let me just print it, system.out.println js dot get string total. Run it. Okay, so this is running. So we have what we have done. So we have given the base URI, we have then used given, and in given we have passed query param. In this API, we don't have headers and other parameters, but we can pass those details in given itself. Also the authentication part, right? If any of the API has authentication, auths are there, so that we can pass under given. Then we are using when, and in when we are, giving the detail like whether it is get method or post method. And then in then we are doing the assertion, we are validating the response, and we are, extracting this response as body. So to validate the response, we are using JSON path. So here you can see it has printed 12. So using JSON path, I am able to traverse each attribute in the JSON response. Clear? Okay. Now, just take the example of post as well. So use this one. So string response one. So here we will, extract the response of post method. So in post, again we will use the same principle. Given, under given we need to pass path parameter or query parameter, right? So do we have the query parameter? Don't, not, it's not there. So just use body, right? So here in post method, so as you know that in post method we need to provide input to the server, right? So we should have the body. So get the body, string body equal to, so this is the sample body for this API method. Now use response given body. So just see the principle. We give all the input details of API under given. So body is also passed under given in case of post method. So pass this body just to avoid confusion. This is post body. When under when again we need to pass the resources, right? So we have the base URL, right? So base URL is common across all the methods, but once we hit it, so this is the resources value. These are the resources basically. Remove it. Then sorry, in when we need to pass whether it is post or get, and then we need to pass the resources, right? Then we'll do assertion, assert that status code 201. Then so we have validated status code here, and now we can extract the response. Extract response body as string. So we are extracting the response as string. Just log it. Response one. So this is how you can basically work with REST assured, and we have seen both get and post method. So this is the response of post method. Now again, suppose we want to validate ID here, right? So use JSON path, new JSON path, and pass this response which you have extracted in post method. System.out.println js1 dot get string. So in JSON path we have a lot of methods available: get string, get list. We can extract the list as well, which is coming under response using js.getList. Okay, so here we are extracting ID. So just run it. So here you can see, right, id is getting printed here. So this is how you can work on get and post method in rest assured. Okay, so we will continue in next session. So that's it for this session now. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Bye bye.